Oh, he's cold. I can't. I'm stuck. You think? Yeah, but you women don't feel what we feel.
I'm sure of that.
I sit down.
This last person is really good.
Yes. I'll use it just from my laptop.
So, welcome to the garden too. My name is Ruth. I don't know whether you can pick it up from my accent, but I'm from the United Kingdom. And it is my great pleasure to show you how the garden this morning. We've come to the area of the garden that we call Skull Hill. And I'm going to tell you, give you a whole explanation about the garden tour here. First of all, I will explain why Skull Hill here may be connected with Jesus' death, and then I will explain to you why our tomb, which you will see later, could be connected with Jesus' burial and his resurrection. But between those two things, you're going to have an initial meeting with your pastor, who's waiting for you. So, to start with, we're at an area of the garden we call Skull Hill, and the reason for that is in the rock face over there. If you look at the rock face, if you come halfway down and in from the right-hand side, there is one large hole. Next to it is a slightly smaller hole, and between them there is a point, which looks like the bridge of a nose. Now, it used to look like this. Can you see here?
Yeah.
Two eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
Yeah.
Okay? This was taken in 19...
Master Wolf.
So it was much clearer in those days than it is now. And that is because at some stage about 10 years ago, part of the nose fell off, so you can't see it as easily as some of our previous visitors have seen it. But nevertheless, from this photo particularly, you can see a possible skull face in the rock. And this is important because the Bible tells us that Jesus was crucified at a place called the Skull. And places in Jesus' time were named by association. So this area here, which is now a bus station, could be the place of the skull. That is the first thing for you to think about. The second thing for you to think about is that we're outside of the city walls. And again, the Bible tells us that Jesus was crucified outside of the city walls. Also, this area here was known to be a place of execution, a Jewish execution. That's because it was a quarry and there were plenty of stones here, and Jewish execution was by stoning. So I want to suggest to you that when the Romans came along and wanted to execute people, it would make sense for them to use a place that was already established for executions. It would not make sense for them to go all around the city looking for somewhere new just to execute. So again, we have a place here that was a place of execution. So it makes sense for the Romans to use it so it could possibly have been that Jesus was crucified. My final point for you to consider why